It's him that you're speaking to. Just a second. It's him here.
Yes, I'm here to make a public information request. I'll need 2 forms, please.
2 forms, you got it.
And do you have a clipboard and a pen I can use?
Sure do. There you go.
Thank you, appreciate it. So, I know I'm not very entertaining right now, but I have
Hi.
to,
Hi. Can we help you? He's here to file a public
I'm
information
just making a
request.
public information request.
Yes, Mr. Baker,
Yes, how you doing?
Mike McLaurin. I just sent you an email
Oh, okay.
recently about our orientation, what we're going to do, we're going to do something after the election.
Okay.
I like your tie.
Oh, thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
So, he's just here to assist me, and I'm just trying to make sure I get the right dates and all, so.
Okay, I like
But
it.
thanks for that update,
What's
I
your name,
appreciate
sir?
it.
I'm Jonathan Shannon. Nice to meet you.
John Shannon?
Jonathan Shannon. Yes, sir.
Jonathan Shannon.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, if you will go ahead and complete whatever and just turn it up to the front counter, we'll turn around as soon as we can. Okay?
Absolutely. All right,
Thank you
thank you very
very
much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Right.
Today is the 2nd.
Yeah, August 2nd.
I'm really behind the times. I almost put down 2016, boy. I'm way off there.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything mentioned about Wi-Fi over there?
I don't
Okay.
recall seeing it.
Okay. Who's going to switch to this chair?
All right, so
Have you,
that's the first one, but I'm going to get
okay.
a camera view of this real quick. This is my PIR,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, emails received by the town council and staff from me, Jonathan Bayer, on June 29th, 2021, regarding a resolution to honor hero John Hurley. All right, so now I'm going to give my second one.
Let me give a quick shot of this, just for the record.
All right. I don't know if my camera angle is going to be all that great, but hopefully, if nothing else, to my tie.
Bring it out for you. I think I'm bringing it, yeah, I'm bringing it all the way out for you. While you're filling that out, do you mind if I get a shot of that email?
Here, take this one first. It's a little small print, so I have to zoom in.
I'll explain later, folks, what this is.
Oh, yeah, I actually have another copy of that one, so.
Right. Okay. I'll leave this up for a few moments. Okay.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi. Hi, nice to meet you. Do you know her?
Yeah, that's the town clerk.
Interesting. And is this part of the same thread?
Give me 1 second here.
Okay, sorry. just took screenshots of the live feed when I had these emails up. That's the best thing I can do to taking a picture of them without stopping the feed. So.
All right, so I'm going to
Okay.
make one more
Now,
copy of that for my record here as well.
okay.
And so on this one, it says, I am requesting the specific date and time the attachment or email referenced by the town clerk was submitted to the public comments for the council meeting on July 27th, 2021. The reference email was sent on Wednesday, July 28th, 2021.
Okay, so there were 2 forms here, is that correct?
Yep, a total of 2 PIRs.
All right. So there are 2 separate requests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Screenshot of that. And let me do this too. Do like that, I guess. All right. Can I get this?
Mm-hmm. All right, so now I just have to submit it, and don't forget that there.
Yeah, don't want to do this.
All right, so all right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. And so I know for the
Automatically closed.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be responsible.
So I know that for the viewers on camera and then in real time here, it wasn't a very eventful situation. However, I'm glad that that happened
Yeah, it's the best possible outcome.
because while I hoped for the best, I kind of anticipated the worst.
Me too.
And I had preparations for such an emergency. I had contact lists and everything, and so I just want the audience to understand that I know that these videos may not be entirely entertaining or dramatic or anything like that. Now, it may very well be that that the deputy that I spoke with earlier today could have warned them that I was going to attend the town hall and make these PIRs, and that I had specifically told him to forward that information to the sheriff who I wanted to speak with, but wasn't available. And so, like I said, he did tell me, the deputy at the sheriff's office, that he was going to forward that information to the deputy in charge here. And so it could very well have been where they were all notified to be on their best behavior, which is good. It's important that that does it.
Yeah.
But the PIRs, I am hoping then will disclose when these communications were received from the town, and that when they submitted my documents to the official record. Now the question then arises, if they at any point had submitted my email to the public comments after the meeting, then how can they consider that part of the meeting minutes.
Right.
And if they did have it prior to the council meeting, then why didn't anyone on the council, especially the mayor, say that they had received my email to be read into the record for public comments? And so in that email, I specifically asked the councilman to answer the question I asked him by email for the record, that he would say that he was for or against the resolution that was in honor of George Floyd. So he refuses to answer that question. And that's why this is important to have this information, because especially after I followed up with the town clerk, who never responded to my emails as to what the situation was with my emails and why it was submitted the way that it was. And so their silence tells me a lot. And I have to assume that if the councilman does not answer me, then I have to assume that he was against the proclamation for George Floyd, because his answer to me about not doing it for John Hurley was the fact that John Hurley has no connections to Indian Trail. Well, neither does George Floyd. So the question then arises, well, if he wasn't in support of the proclamation, then why did he go along with it? Because the proclamation was read into the record by the mayor, but there was no discussion on ever having a proclamation. There was no discussion on the wording of it, and there was no discussion on whether or not the council approved on it and voted to have one. So by the looks of it, the mayor just created his own proclamation, and they just all sat idly by and rubber stamped it. So that's why I wanted to get him on the record to say, well, were you for or against it? And he refuses to answer. So I think I got my answer.
Okay.
Anyway, that's it. There are people out there who do First Amendment audits, and I don't do that. I record my engagements with the government just based on past experiences, and that's to document my experiences so that there's always evidence as to what happened, and that there's no he said, she said, and so, but these people would normally grade their experiences, and in this case, I would give them an A grade, in that they just allowed me to make my PIR. They didn't make any qualms about me having a camera. So that's the way it's supposed to be.
I was very surprised by that part, because I was expecting, if anything, it would be the camera. If not for you personally, it would be the camera that would get it.
Correct. And so, before we close, then I suppose the only other thing to say is that the things that have happened behind the scenes, like I said, have been documented. Not everything. I do have emails and other paperwork and stuff of that nature that are not on video. But I do have 11 years of history with this town, 11 years of a lot of personal grief that they've put me through, and a lot of turmoil. And it is hidden right now because of their very good behavior today. But it is of my opinion that they want to keep everything under wraps, that they don't want the documents and the records that I have to come out. So I am still concerned about their demeanor. I'm still concerned about how they treat me personally.
Yeah.
And I look at it as a form of political persecution, and that they have used their positions of authority and have abused them just to have me silenced. Like I said, there is video evidence of that. They can find it on my YouTube channel, Truth You Can Handle, and they'll be able to see it for themselves. If anyone has any questions, they can contact me through my email on that channel.
Let me ask you something, if you want to answer this on the record or not, but how they treated you and giving you that no trespassing letter, isn't that a crime to make up a false accusation and put it in a legal document like that?
Well, in this case, it's called color of law. It has the appearance of authority. And yet, if I was not committing a crime, if I was not disturbing the peace, then I cannot be trespassed. Some people will say that they can trespass me for any reason, but that's not true. It's got to be a lawful reason. And they never did that. The statement that they gave me was nebulous. In it, at the time that they gave it to me, was the information that they used, which was my own information that I published publicly, the stuff that you can find yourself. And they tried to use the phrase, and they had to put this in there, a pattern of behavior. But that hadn't happened since 2 years before that current event happened. So you can't cite a pattern of behavior when you have such a gap of time.
Yeah.
And so, and then I do have on record, and people can see that in the videos, where the deputy, who has now passed on, he said on record that he knew prior to that day that they had been in discussions on how to have me personally banned from Town Hall. So, so that alone is enough for me to say, yes, they are discriminating against me personally. So, because the rules are supposed to be applied evenly to all people. And so they needed an excuse. So what they wanted to say was that under North Carolina law, in the statute regarding harassment, which includes stalking, that I was doing that and I was preventing them from doing their job, that they walked off of their duty stations because I was present. They could not legally say that it was because I had a camera. However, in the complaint against me, they did cite me having a camera, although not directly. So it's very clear that they do not like having cameras here, but it is very helpful that I had a member of the press, and I am also press as well. I've got my own credentials. So so that's pretty much it. And like I said, I did have some other backup to monitor the situation. So I'm glad for all the people who had supported me in this. I appreciate everyone who has watched this live, and as well as those that will watch this later. And please leave your comments. Please do what you can, even in your local area, for accountability. But your moral support is greatly appreciated.
In closing, one person, Nikki, wrote, did he get the FOIA documents? I think, do you want to just say, just to clarify in summary, that this is just a request right now, right?
Yeah, currently this is a request, and it is very specific. So I hope that within a week I should be able to get that, because when they're broader, sometimes it may take longer, but since it happened within the last month, they should be able to get all this stuff very fast. And I told them, as you can see on the video and have seen, that I specified the dates and the content, so there should be no confusion.
Okay. Is there any closing thoughts you want to say, or is that all you want to say?
Again, what I am grateful for is the media coverage on this. The local media has pretty much turned a deaf ear to my pleas.
The mainstream media.
The mainstream media.
At the local
At the local level,
level.
whether it's newspapers, television. I do believe that it is an important issue. It doesn't strike the level of, like national importance of that nature, but it is a human interest story. It is a civil rights story. It is something that a story that needs to be told, not just because of me. I am a veteran, and they have I've got my camera currently on their memorial, and so And I said in one of my presentations during public comments that as a veteran, they're stomping all over their memory. They're stomping on their graves when they trample any one of our rights. They are here to protect our rights, first and foremost. We all swore the same oath. And so our rights are inviolable. They are unalienable. They cannot abridge our rights for any reason.
That's right.
So this is why it's so important, and we cannot allow petty tyrants. And be mindful, it's not just this current council. This has been going on for a long time through subsequent councils. And what makes this one more painful is over the last 10 years, these, by and large, had been, at least with the mayor and one of the councilmen, had been candidates that we supported to get into the government to help alleviate the problems and the corruption that we saw at the time. Instead, what they ended up doing was they became a part of the system. They became a part of the beast. And then they started consuming the very people who got them there.
Yeah.
And they have admitted on the record, at least one councilman has admitted on the record, that it's all about power. It's all about control. He admitted it. So these kinds of people cannot be allowed to run over people like this, to step all over them, you know, and it's just an abuse of power.
Yeah. So would you? I wouldn't be going too far to calling them a deep state at the local level.
I would call them petty tyrants.
Yeah.
Because there are people, and I'm not trying to be insulting, but there are people far brighter, far more clever, and they're just making this personal. I never wanted this to be personal. It was never my intent.
Yeah.
I just wanted open and transparent government. I wanted to be able to find out the truth about a lot of things, and they ended up circling the wagons when there was no circling to be had.
Yeah.
You know, but for whatever reason, they're afraid of something. They're afraid of the truth coming out, whatever that may be. I've tried to address things, and again, in one of the videos, you can clearly see me trying to address a problem, and they totally shut me up. They told me I was not allowed to talk about it during public comments. Right there, that was an abridgment of my freedom of speech. I was not allowed to talk. And then the subsequent meeting that I went to, then they did allow me, because they realized that, yeah, what they did was wrong.
Right.
So, but you have to remember, you have to exercise your rights, because if you don't exercise your rights, you lose them.
Right. Right. I know you mentioned this earlier, but Nikki, watching this, asked, how soon do you expect a turnaround? I wonder if they have a 24-hour response, 14 days or 30 days. You said about a week, right?
Well, here's the thing. State law says that, well, it's not law, I'm sorry. State policy is that within 10 business days, 14 business days, they should at least give you a reply.
Yeah.
And they should let you know if there's going to be any cost and how long it's going to take. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, I do not get that information. I have to constantly come back and ask, what's going on with my PIR. Now, like I said, because I was very specific with my request, it should be, in my opinion, be within 7 days. Now, I can even give an allowance for 14 days. It shouldn't take any more than that.
Yeah. And just for the record, I know that Ben mentioned that the documents, when I was trying to capture them, they are blurry, but I did take screenshots, and I will share that on my show later, or maybe use your footage perhaps. One thing I will say, just for the record, on my show here, there was a brief moment following when he was at the when he first went up to the counter. I guess I'll bring me up on camera for a second. There was a brief few moments, about a minute or two, or a couple minutes, when he was when Jonathan went up to the counter first time, that the signal cut out, and that lasted until we got over to the seating area. An individual came up to us. Do you know who he is?
That was the town manager.
That was the town manager, and we exchanged our hellos and stuff and introduced ourselves, so he knows that we were here. shortly after that, we came back up on a different feed. So my apologies for that, but sometimes technology is just the way it is. But anyways, I think that's about it, right?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so I will repackage this later for my show to show to the YouTube audience. I guess, is it okay if I use your footage?
Yep, yeah.
Okay, and I'll also put in that part where my feed cut out, so that you can get a chance to hear that as well. So thank you everyone for watching. Nikki, I appreciate the prayer that the request will go through. Hope he gets the document too. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, but thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next broadcast. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
And then just for the record, just so that everyone knows what you're all about, so that they don't just hear a voice, they get a face with it too.
Yeah, my name is Jonathan Shannon. I'm with the Citizen Report. So,
And as you can see, he is credentialed. So, all right, thank you, Jonathan, for all of your support. I appreciate it.
happy to help anytime.